I get a lot of people asking me how we were blessed to walk away from corporate America in our early 30s. Well, listen, I don't want to keep that a secret. I want to share it with the world. And so maybe you're listening to this podcast and you're trying to figure out, how do I even get started on my journey of entrepreneurship and getting to a level of freedom? Well, text the word freedom to 737 777 9909. Enter your information in, and we look forward to sharing some information with you. A proven system with small overhead, right? That you can do part-time, spare time, right from the comfort of your home, and have amazing mentors, coaches, and a community of entrepreneurs who are willing to support you and help you on your journey to freedom. Welcome to Code Freedom. I'm your host, Eddie Bales. Have you ever felt stuck? Have you ever felt like there's got to be more than life than the reality that you see every day? Tune in weekly, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays as we crack the codes to freedom in every area of your life. Welcome to Code Freedom. This is your host, Eddie Bales, and this is episode 182. And today we're going to talk about me versus me. In fact, the organization that I'm a part of, that's actually our theme for the year, is me versus me. And I posted something on my social media, which, by the way, if you're not following me on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, LinkedIn, all those different platforms, Twitter, make sure you follow your boy. You can actually find our link tree in the show notes. But if you go to Instagram, you can definitely just type in my name, last name Bails, right? But just type in my name and you can connect that one to all the other platforms. But anyway, that's just a plug. Um, but no, I said, who are you more committed to, your current you or your future you? And a lot of people really resonated with that. And so I want to pose that question to you. Who are you more committed to, your current you or your future you? Now, a lot of people, most people said the future you, but there were some people who said both. And there's no right or wrong answer. Uh, but the key is that we have a plan for our future so that we are constantly working on ourselves and getting better so that we can be the best version of ourselves in the future, right? And future doesn't have to be 10 years from now. Future can be a month from now, 6 months from now. I mean, can you believe it's the middle of May? We're already at the middle of May. Pretty soon it'll be the middle of the year. I mean, we're practically there. And then we'll be at the end of the year. So we have to be very, very, very intentional about and strategic about what we do, how we move. And this is something I talk about all the time because you don't just slip up and become free, right? You have to have a plan for freedom. Freedom isn't free. So we have to have a plan for it. And so my question is are you are you ready for me versus me, right? Because who you are right now is not who you need to be the free version of you, right? Who you are right now is almost an imposter, right? Because we have to transcend and transform ourselves to become that best version of who we are. And even when we become that person, we'll still have more growing to do. We'll never just arrive, but we can become a different person. Right? You know how sometimes people say you're changing, and your response should be, and I shouldn't. Like should you stay the same? No, we should always be changing. We should always be evolving. We shouldn't aim to stay the same. We should be different. We should be better than we were 5 years ago. We should be different than we. I mean, I'm not saying you have to be different in a bad way. And what I'm saying is we should become, right? I mean, ask the caterpillar if they should be the same, months from now, right? No, they should be a butterfly, right? So for us to not be transforming ourselves on a regular basis, we would be doing a disservice to God because He designed us to constantly get better. He designed us to fulfill purpose and destiny. And if we're not becoming who we need to be to fulfill that, then can I just keep it real with you? Hey, we're just taking up space, right? I mean, let's just have that real conversation today. Are we just taking up space, or are we actually becoming who we should be becoming? And so, an exercise that I do when I talk to some of my team members, and I just want to get them to really see that person that they need to be, is I'll say, look, let's just imagine that you made it. You made it to where you want to be, um, per se, and you're sitting at a banquet and you're in the upper you're in the banquet with a bunch of the upper echelons of of whatever industry that you're in, and you feel like you've arrived because you made it in the room and you're at the chair, you're at the table, you got a seat at the table. However, then all of a sudden you hear them call your name, and you're supposed to come up to the stage and give a speech because you made it to a level you didn't even think you could make it to. And then as they call your name, you get ready to get up and somebody else is walking up. Isn't that interesting? And it's you, but it's not really you. It's the you you're supposed to be. It's the you that you're becoming. It's the you versus you, right? And you see that person walk up on stage and I mean the outfit is bad. And then they just got this glow about them. And then they walk up on stage and they just rip it up. I mean, the charisma is oozing out of them. They got folks laughing and crying. And as soon as they come off stage, everybody almost wants to flock to them because they just gave an electrifying speech or talk. Now, this is just an example, but man, you can almost feel being in that situation. So the question is, how do you become that person? Not the person that so-called made it and arrived, but the person that that you're really supposed to be. How do we bridge that gap? And there's lots of ways, right? One way is obviously personal development, self-growth. We talk about this stuff all the time. Being around the right people, right? Getting in the right environments. Sometimes you just got to get out of your environment so you can see better. You know, the father told Abraham to leave his land and leave his family. So he wanted him to see more. He wanted him to see something different. Sometimes he told him to leave his family, his culture, and his neighborhood, his land. And so we have to understand some of those things that we are going to have to do. And we're going to have to take risks. We're going to have to sometimes stay up later and get up earlier. We're going to have to work harder, but not just work harder, because that sometimes that's just a crutch. Work harder, do more. Look, what about be strategic, right? Get a plan. Like, what are we going to do to become that person? John C. Maxwell said, do you have an intentional plan for growth? Right? What is your plan to become better? Or do you just think you're going to become better automatically? That is it right there. Do you just think you're going to be better? Or do you actually have a plan to be better? Because I like having a plan much better than just thinking, hoping, and wishing, because hope is not a strategy that is going to happen. So I hope you take these words to heart. This is a short episode, but I just think that, man, if you just really just visualize what I just went over and really think about that, like who you are right now, you're great. But there's a better version of you. And how do we bridge that gap to who we need to be? Who do we need to become to attract the things that we want in our lives? And how hard are we willing to work to become that person? And you know what's awesome about that? We're not comparing ourselves to anybody else. We're not looking at anybody else. We're just saying, look, this is where I am right now, and this is where I'm supposed to be. And I'm going to grind, I'm going to work, I'm going to do whatever I need to do to become that person. So listen, this is episode 182, Me versus Me, Code Freedom. And don't forget to join our Facebook community at thewaytofreedom.info. And we look forward to the next episode. Take care, take charge, and we'll see you all over the top. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate you guys for listening. Definitely feel free to take a screenshot of this episode, tag me in it on Instagram or Facebook or wherever you find me on social media. I would love to give you a shout out. Hey, you might even get a prize. Who knows? But excited that you had a chance to take a listen. I hope you got a lot of value. And definitely feel free to give us 5 stars as well as a review. Show us some love, and we appreciate you. God bless you all, and see you all over the top.